Well, hello there, and welcome to my new apartment for the first time. I think this is the first time you see it. I'm in the middle of work, or well, daytime, but since I only had two countries left on my little tier list making journey, I figured I will finish this series up these days and just kind of, I wouldn't say get it over with, but at least finish it up, even though I'm incredibly tired these days. But that's completely fine. Today is going to be a little bit of a shorter one, and then of course we'll go out on a high note with United Kingdom tomorrow, which is going to be a long one. So Ukraine is the country that I want to talk about today. They have a bunch of songs. Of course, they debuted in 2003, so there's not like the same amount of songs here to talk about as with countries like Spain and Sweden and United Kingdom, but there's still quite a few. And positively enough, there's quite a few good ones. So I'll get right into it, and unfortunately we're not going to start off with a very good one, because in 2003, on the debut, the song Hasta la Vista was not really my thing. I think the vocal performance is very odd, kind of strange. The structure of the song is even more strange. Chorus, I guess, that kind of has that impact that it just wants to be a bit memorable, but it doesn't really quite work with the rest of the song, I think. I think it's a very messy composition altogether. Doesn't really work for me. I think the instrumental is quite weak. The hook doesn't really click with me either. I don't think it's that strong. And the vocal performance just kind of drags it down even further. It all just kind of felt like a very half-hearted attempt altogether. Which maybe it wasn't, but it's just that maybe what we grew to kind of expect from Ukraine kind of highlights the lack of ambition that was there in the first year. At least that's my theory. Hasta la Vista is simply not for me. I think it's not the worst song I've ever heard. If it was, I would put it in the very bottom category, but this just doesn't do anything for me. I don't get any enjoyment out of it. And I think it's overall quite messy of an arrangement and of a whole package, in all honesty. So yeah, we're off to a pretty poor start, but we're gonna fix that, because Wild Dances is a fantastic entry, I do believe. Mainly due to the performance, I think, just kind of knocks it out of the park for me. It's so energetic and intense, and just really well planned out and well executed on stage. The song that's there at its core, it has these kind of tribal tones which is really nice. And also just this intensity and energy that the song constantly pushes forward with the driving drum beats. It's a, drum machine heavy song, which still has the detailing of a more polished percussive arrangement, which is really nice. It's a nice combination of things to really just kind of create this very digitalized but still very tribal tone to like mash together these different types of music. The chorus has, the chanting. It's a memorable hook, which I guess doesn't really have much of a melodic impact, but it's just the kind of intensity of the vocal performance, which I think is just really striking, so I enjoy it out of that. And I think the performance just kind of elevates it into the fantastic category, if not even higher, I assume, for some people. Love the input of the horns. The drumming is absolutely the standout in this song, music-wise. And performance-wise, it's just the whole stage concept and the performance of it, the charisma, the energy. Everything's just great, I would say. In 2005, hosting Eurovision, of course, for the first time, Razzo Nas Bahato, of course, kind of an important song in the, what was it called, like the green... Is it called the Green Movement in Ukraine? I don't really particularly know too much about it. I just know it's a very important kind of... I'm not sure how important the song actually was for the entire movement, but it's a song that really carries the emotional load of a tough period. And it's kind of being, what do you call it, like presented in a very kind of harsh and hard-hitting way, I think, even though maybe the audience doesn't really connect with the lyrics and you can just look at it as like a lazily written rap song. I don't look at it that way, because I think it's so much more than that. I think instrumentally it has a drive and it has a purpose. That's the main thing. The guitar riffs are really strong. The drumming is kind of energetic. It just kind of carries this dusty bone to everything that it wants to kind of establish around it. It's like a constant beat in the back. You have this, I wouldn't call it a siren, but there's this piano note that's quite constant that just kind of, what do you call it? Like it's very constant within the chaos that, or within the whole presentation of the chaos that the song really establishes throughout, and how this kind of signal or siren returns back into the song as it finishes. It's a very nice touch with just kind of creating the whole storytelling of the song to kind of make it begin and end on the same type of note or type of tone. Really, I think throughout the song, the chanting is really effective with the vocal hook. That's a memorable part. Even though it's not really melodically interesting in per se, it still, you know, just has that kind of tone that really just grips me, I think. I think the hook is catchy, which just really works because it's so easy to just, you know, kind of chant along to. It becomes very effective and powerful in that way. The way that it's presented on stage, this performance, I really like it. I think it's a nice layout. I think it's kind of hard-hitting with the chains and everything. It just really works with the whole vibe of it. There's a nice synth work throughout the song, which are like great details throughout. I just think it's a well-written song and incredibly well executed as well on stage. I think it's quite underrated in that sense, in all honesty. I think this is a fantastic effort, to be honest. I understand that it's not really everyone's type of music. It's not really my type of music either, but I think this one just does something that really clicks with me, and I really can kind of connect to it, because I think it's very authentic, and I think it is very hard-hitting, and I like this gray tone that the song kind of has in its soundstage as well. It's really intriguing to me, and I'm actually really clicking with it. I do click quite a bit with Show Me Your Love as well. I think this song, well, it's not similar to... Oh, sorry. I'm not sure what I'm doing on the screen right now. Show Me Your Love has a lot of energy. It's not very similar to Razon Naspahatov in any way, but it's a memorable hook. It's a strong vocal performance, quite entertaining on stage, just really great altogether. Instrumental is quite strong. It's an entertaining song for 3 minutes. I don't really seek out to listen to it over and over again, but I always enjoy it whenever it comes on, so I think it's a really great one. And of course, Dancing La Chatumba, you can think whatever you want about it. I mean, it's musically, I wouldn't really call it anything quite that intriguing or exciting or even appealing. It's all about the performance of this. It's about the whole wackiness and kind of just odd approach that everything's taking. The song has, you know, this constant drive, and it's kind of annoying at the same time that it's actually really exciting, and you just kind of get dragged into it because of the wacky performance. I think just kind of elevates it. The song on its own doesn't really do much for me, except that it's catchy. It has an alright production to it, but it's the performance that really just kind of makes this song into what it is. And the performance is really great. It's enough for me to put it up there, but as a piece of songwriting, I wouldn't really take after it if I were to write my own music. But still, you know, it is one of these songs that definitely stand out, and I think, you know, it's just part of the Eurovision catalog of iconic entries that you just kind of have to sit back and chuckle at and kind of appreciate for what it is. Because they definitely went all out with what they wanted to do, and I can never, you know, kind of discourage that or anything. Shady Lady also goes all out with what it wants to do. It's a regular pop banger from the mid to late 2000s. Does everything it should do. Catchy hook, nice detailing in the instrumental. I think it flows very well. Great performance. Yeah, really great. Not my type of music, I'll be honest, but I just think it's kind of a polished pop product, and I'm liking the details in the backing track with the synth work. And I also kind of like how they incorporate these details with the stage performance. So it's quite a nice package altogether. Solid hook. Like the little breakdown towards the end. It's kind of suspenseful and has a very dark tone to it, which really works in combination with the rest of the atmosphere of the rest of the song. So quite a nice one. Really great. Be My Valentine, I've never really been that crazy about it. Again, it's an ambitious performance. This song doesn't really do that much for me, though. It's kind of memorable, but I think, again, it's like the performance that actually makes it really memorable. The chorus is catchy. The song, excluding the chorus, doesn't really offer me a whole lot, but I still just kind of think the ambition and everything just kind of elevates it up into a solid entry. I would never consider this to be a bad entry or a subpar or mediocre entry, but I wouldn't really consider it a great one either, because I think the songwriting is a bit lacking here. It doesn't really interest me all too much, and I don't think it's very polished or perfected either. It's just a pop tune for 3 minutes that its purpose is more for the stage to kind of accompany the song, I guess. Sweet People, I think, is the opposite. Here's the song that's really at its core. It's a very stripped down performance, which just brings a lot of passion. It really works. It hits through the screen, I think, very effectively. It's a powerful performance. It's a powerful piece of music. It's written very sensitively, with great dynamic changes throughout. The very kind of melodramatic, raw tone in the opening is very effective in how it leads into these more driving sections with the electric guitars that are incredibly distorted and really just screech out this raw, gray, really industrial tone, along with the vocal performance that is so kind of, what do you call it, like passionate and emotionally driven. I think it really just ticks all of the boxes. Fantastic for me. Like how stripped down the staging is as well. Everything just works. They've executed the plan perfectly with the song, both in terms of songwriting and presentation of it. And I think the same can be said about Angel, I guess, from 2011. Here it's just kind of the staging just absolutely knocks it out of the park. The song has a nice, pleasant hook to it. I like the instrumental. I think there's a great tone to it. Like the instrumentation of it a lot. I think the song progresses quite nicely. The vocal melody of the chorus is rather strong, but all you can kind of get dragged into is the sound artist in the background. That kind of steals the show a lot. But I think for the case of this song, it's actually in a good way, because the song is emotionally driven enough to still carry some interest to it, but maybe it needed that additional kind of push to really get it over the line and become as hard-hitting as it actually is. And I think the performance kind of nailed that. It's a passionate vocal performance as well, just really works. I would consider it to be fantastic, actually. I kind of feel a bit odd placing Shady Lady in really great, because I think it's kind of I'll move that up. Yeah, I can't really let my bias against these more pop bangers kind of drag it down. I think Shady Lady should probably be up there. We'll keep it like this. Be My Guest is what happened here. I despise this song completely. I think it's obnoxious. It's way too loud. There's way too much going on in the background. The instrumental has not been carefully crafted at all here. The vocal melody on top of it has just been thrown on there without any real care or kind of thought behind it. It's just supposed to be kind of like a party banger, I guess, and it just does not work at all. I think it's way too much. It's way just overly kind of obnoxious in a way. So no, I never want to hear this song ever again. No. 2013, here is where I guess a lot of you will click off the video or dislike it or whatever, but Gravity has just never worked with me. I think this song is incredibly mundane and it's instrumental. It's a very repetitive hook that's being looped way too many times. The instrumental is very lackluster. But what this song has going for it is, of course, a vocal arrangement that is very strong, and a vocal performance that is out of this world. So should I just balance everything up and put it into solid? That's what I have to do. I understand if that's way too low for your personal taste or personal opinion, but I just can't with the instrumental of this song, and I think the songwriting of it is quite weak as well. The cohesion of it, structure-wise, is not very interesting to me. And I think these constant kind of staccato hits in the instrumental are quite intriguing at first, but as they just keep going on in the same type of kind of feeble power in them, I don't really get very excited about them. I think it's a song lacking drive from the instrumental, and the minimalistic approach in the instrumental just puts an additional weight on the vocal performance, which just kind of makes it makes it like there's a greater requirement of what the vocal performance has to do in this song than there really should have been, because the backing track can definitely back it up in a much better way if it was more layered and detailed and thought out. Or I could just be chatting absolute nonsense, because of course this went very well for Ukraine sending this song. So whatever, it just never clicked with me. But still, you kind of just have to admire the strengths of the entry as well. The vocal performance is incredible. Lighting on stage looks great. Chorus has a memorable hook. It's just that it's being repeated a bit too much, I think. Yeah, it is what it is. TikTok, great stage performance again. It's just constant with Ukraine. Memorable hook, great production quality on this one, I think. Great energy in the backing track. The drumming is strong. Vocal performance is alright, and just everything's kind of great about it. Not much more, not much less, in my opinion. I cannot say the same for 1944 by Yamala. I think this is one of the most atmospherically engaging songs that I've heard in Eurovision. I think the stage performance is incredible. It's just mesmerizing 3 minutes, in all honesty. Vocal performance, incredible, out of this world. The instrumental to this song is it's dreamlike. I think it's so enigmatic, and just love the whole instrumentation, the sound design of the backing track, and the production quality of it really just clicks. I think the percussion sounds incredible in this song. It's a very dynamic and distinct, crisp sound in the production quality, especially for the percussion, but also for the entire backing track as a whole. Loving the incorporation of woodwinds throughout the song. It's a very palpable backing track, which just works with this, in the verses, very kind of suspenseful and dark tone in the vocal, and then the chorus, which has this more soaring, floating tone to it, which just really hits home. So I think I've spoken many times about all of my praise for this song, and I won't stop here. So if you know, you know. I like this song quite a bit, and the performance of it as well. Time is an alright rock song with a pretty lackluster performance, unfortunately. It's a simple I like it, but because I think the song has something in it. The drive of the instrumental is quite strong. I think the production quality is alright on it. The guitars sound decent, the drumming is there. Structure is a bit lacking. I think it doesn't really flow that much with the energy that the song actually tries to establish at certain parts. Vocally, it's performed quite well. It's just that the staging wasn't really interesting. I wish they would have kept these like ticking clocks that they had in the national final. I believe they had timers on their chests, kind of counting down the runtime of the song. It was a nice detail. Kind of just lost all of that vibe with this big head in the background and then nothing else. It was just a light show with a big head in the background. Didn't really care for that all too much. So a shame. Under the Ladder, I will always kind of have an issue with this song, because one of my all-time favorite national final songs, Beat of the Universe by Kadnai from Vidbeer 2018, it wouldn't have won anyway, but I just wanted it to win so much. So I've just kind of got a sour taste from this song, even though I really, really like it. I think the songwriting of it is intense. It's very well written, has this kind of crucial crescendo towards the end, with also a nice build leading into it. I think the soundstage is very well crafted. Instrumentation sounds great. I like the piano-driven arrangement throughout the song, and also how it picks up in energy, how the piano really goes in combination with the drumming in these sections. Like the piano playing becomes more intense throughout. It's a very nice touch. The staging looks great with the whole flaming staircase and everything. I like the whole concept of it. Him walking out of the coffin in the beginning or whatever. It's a very, thought out and well executed performance as well, I think. Yeah, really great. It's actually on the verge of being even more than that. I think I will actually put it in fantastic. I like it that much, actually. I should watch this performance and listen to this song more often again, in all honesty. I never do, for whatever reason. I should do it again. 2019 Siren Song, really great. Never really clicked with the whole kind of song that this is, but I like the just driving production quality of this. It's a very hard-hitting chorus with a great sound design, just really works. Charismatic performance. The performance kind of just, it's its own thing. Would have definitely stood out, or well, it did stand out, regardless of whether you think it participated or not. Of course, it didn't, but it definitely stood out in the selection regardless. Um, the song just has this memorable hook to it. The production quality of the instrumental is very strong. Like the drop sections a lot, even though they're a bit monotonous. Maybe not my type of music all the way to what it could be, but still just really admirable and well executed, well put together, and they've done everything that they wanted to do with it. So yeah, have to put it there. 2020 Solove was never really my thing. Like this vocal style, I understand that it's really interesting, and I'm intrigued by it as well. But this song is a bit too stale for my personal liking. It doesn't really go on an evolution throughout the song. I think it's a bit too one note. I'm liking the first kind of chorus segment with the flute being the main instrument, and then you know how they kind of evolve the song throughout, layering the vocal more and more towards the end of the song. But it doesn't really feel like the optimal progression throughout, I guess. I think the song could have benefited from a more energetic switch up or just more energy throughout. I think it's a very slow moving song that doesn't interest me too much, even though I think the instrumentation is great and the production quality of it's very strong. But I would never really consider it more than solid, to be honest. Never really just clicked with me. But fortunately, Shum did click with me. This is everything I wanted Solove to be. Shum was, I think. It's the incorporation of this vocal style that's utilized perfectly in a song that really relies on the atmosphere that it tries to establish all the way throughout and how it switches throughout the song. The tempo automation is fantastic. It's a nice detail which really just makes the song come to life in a completely different way. Loving the digital inputs of it. The instrumental beat is incredibly like this acidic, industrial tone to it, which also has a great production quality. Like the mixing on this thing is insanely good. I love it to bits. And I also just really like the whole detailing throughout the song. The bass work is fantastic. There's these small little details from guitar work scattered throughout the song, which adds a lot of flavor to the song. The flute work is, of course, fantastic, and it works really well with the vocal style that this song has going for it. Love the performance as well. The performance is actually enchanting, and I like the stage layout of it, and just the whole concept of everything going kind of nuts at the end. I get so dragged into it and invested into it. I love it to bits, and it's one of my absolute favorite songs of 2021, if not the favorite in Eurovision. That is Eurovision 2021. And then we have Stefania, great winner, fantastic hook, memorable song. I can listen to this song over and over again and seemingly never get tired of it. It's just such a great hook. Love the whole drop sections that are instrumental with the flute melody that is very, very memorable. Loving the rap sections in this song. They are so packed with character and flow. I like the flow of this a lot. The beat is fantastic. Love the percussive switch ups at the end where the song goes half beat, then throw in the 808s and then go back to the main kind of upbeat beat. There's a lot of energy throughout the song, a lot of just great vibe to it. Catchy hook, very memorable, incredibly well performed, very charismatic performance, and you can just see how passionately everything has been put together here. And it's just one of these songs that always kind of seems to lift my spirits. I always have a lot of fun listening to this song. I think it's very memorable and it's very upbeat and puts me in a really great mood. whatever the case is. It always gets my blood going, you know, my blood pumping, I guess you say. Yeah, oh, it's actually so close to the top category. I'm actually tempted to put it up there. Um, is the staging everything I wanted it to be? Maybe not, but the performance kind of is. Like their performance on the stage. I just kind of liked that whole thing with the box that they did in Vidbeer, I guess. Should that really be enough for me to drag it down though? No, it's not going to be that. But yeah, we'll put it up there. And then you can complain in the comments if you disagree with me. But we take a quick look at my Ukrainian tier list and we can kind of just clarify and confirm that Ukraine is one of my absolute favorite countries in Eurovision. And will probably continue to be that. So yeah, thanks for watching this one. We only have one more to go, and I hope to see you in that one as well. Take care of yourselves, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.